I'm so glad you could join us today. I've got messages when you want them. I also checked out Kazanu. There are multiple listings in the white pages. I got the page, but you'll have to figure out the right one.
Great, thanks.
Now, are you going to tell me what happened yesterday with Malia Getty, or is it just too embarrassing? Don't tell me you actually got to see her.
The star out tonight.
Gabriel, you don't seriously think she's interested? She can have any man in the city. You know, men with bank accounts.
You underestimate the Knight family's tragic poet samurai appeal. When Daddy married Mom, she was the hottest catch in town.
I always suspected there was something fishy in your family tree. But seriously, I think you should be careful.
Grace.
I'm serious. I don't know why, but I have a bad feeling in the pit of my stomach about this.
It's called jealousy, my dear. And you're right. You should be jealous of Malia Getty, as should every woman on this planet.
Oh, never mind. I'll just fix these books. Your life is in your own slippery little hands.
The point is to get it into somebody else's hands. And soon.
I'm gonna go ahead and,
Hey, kids.
Huh?
Bruno.
Gabe, pet. I just popped in to see if you're desperate enough to sell me that painting.
How much would you give?
Gabriel.
Stay out of this.
Ooh, you're serious? You'll let me have it?
Yeah, I'll let you have it, all right. How much for the painting?
Well, I could give you 100. That's all I can let go at the moment, you know. My fares are so tied up.
Gabriel, $100 for your father's painting?
Grace, let me deal with this. Fine, it's yours.
Gabriel!
Here's the 100.
You better take good care of this, Bruno. This is not just another of your hip art pieces, you know.
Really? Well, I fully intend to make the most of its display, though not for your sake, I'm sure. At least in my shop, there'll be a chance of someone actually seeing it. I can't believe I actually got it. Just wait until I show Sid.
I don't believe you!
It's just a painting, Grace. There are things I have to do.
Times Picayune, dated June 20, 1993. Gabriel scans over an uninteresting front page. Under the cultural events section, there's a notice about a lecture on African religions. The lecture is at Tulane University. Gabriel's horoscope for the day. An evil eye is upon you. Change course before it's too late.
Lighten up. Got a minute?
What?
Do you have messages for me?
Your pal Mosley called. He left a message that they're interrogating a suspect this morning and you might want to be there.
Sounds fun.
I bet.
Do you have more messages for me?
That man from Germany called again, Wolfgang Ritter. Now he's claiming to be a relative of yours. I took down his number. If you change your mind and want to give him a call back, just ask me for it.
Can I get that phone number for Wolfgang Ritter?
Sure, I'll give it to you when we're done talking.
Do you have more?
I've given
Could you do...
Sure. Okay. Here's that phone number.
Thanks.
Wolfgang Ritter's phone number, written in Grace's. The number written on the note is 4909324.
You're listening to KLEB and...
It's customary.
I'm not calling some stranger in Germany. I still don't know who this guy really is.
The Creole Grand Dames will hold their annual Gardenia Festival, and Deed is coming Tuesday at the Sons of Burgundy Hall. Admission is free.
Have fun.
Got the university now.
Got a sec. I'm here. He's in his office.
Glad you made it. It'll give you a feel for how I am in action. You know, handling suspects, that sort of thing.
I'm sure it'll be invigorating. Who is this guy anyway?
Calls himself Crash. He's been an informant for us before, mostly helping us bust small-time pimps and dealers trying to break into the territory. Well, he's been staying invisible during these murders, but we picked him up this morning at Jackson Square. Pushing coke. He knows something. Call it detective's instinct.
Detective's instinct. Got it.
All right, Crash. I want to hear about these murders. You been present at the so-called voodoo ritual?
I don't know nothing. I told you.
Come on now, you can tell me. Do you know anyone who's been to these rituals?
Look, I can't say nothing. You gotta let me go, man.
Now, you relax. No one knows you're here. The men who picked you up were plainclothesmen.
Plain clothes, like you could fool them. They know I'm here. They've got ears all over the city. They know everything.
Now, who are they, Crash? Are they the ones doing the murders?
Let me go.
If you're so worried about being detained, start talking. Now, you tell me what I want to hear, and maybe I can get you in the witness protection program. But you have to earn it.
Witness protection? Are you crazy? Don't make me laugh. Jesus, just let me out of here.
Oh, come on. Who's behind these murders, Crash? Why are the victims all members of the underworld?
By now they know I'm here. I mean, it's different when I'm supposed to come here. Or if I can send a message. Tell them I didn't say nothing.
Christ, he's frickin' useless. Take him back to detain him, would you, Tony? I tell you, times like this, I'd kill for truth serum and damn the civil rights.
Can I quote you on that?
Huh? Hell no. Damn! We only keep him for 24 hours. Tomorrow morning I might have to let him go. Sorry it wasn't more exciting. For the book, I mean. Maybe you can punch it up some. You know, what do they call that? Fiction, that's it.
It certainly is. I'll see what I can do. Can I ask you about some...
You're the...
What's the state of...
It sure as hell ain't going well. There's a lot of brakes being applied in different areas of the investigation. We're getting some real info on the victims now, and they're not exactly upstanding citizens. I was hoping to get more out of Crash, but he's scared shitless. We'll have to let him go tomorrow morning.
What's the state...
I told you.
The suit.
Well,
Too much out of
later.
that, other than they're everywhere. Going on today? The painter and juggler. They're there. There. Fortune teller. Here.
could I ask you a few questions, Madame Lorelei?
The only answers I give are given in my reading. I'm sure your poem would be quite interesting.
The booth is a colorful male. The owner is currently Gabriel doesn't... Why do that? There is no... The booth is a colorful melange. It announces the owner as Madame Lorelei, and the owner is currently plying a different sort of wares. However, the booth is the owner.
Thanks, boys.
That's a nice snake you have there.
I could say the same of you.
Well, I know where I got mine. Where'd you get yours?
That's personal. Come on, boys. Hoopla.
And dance again, huh?
Thanks, boys. Come on, boy.
Come on.
It's extremely big. There's nothing. It's Gabriel. There's not the lines in the sand of. It's very large grass.
I need to look up at that skeleton because I know there's a skeleton. I just don't know where it is, and I can't see anything.
There are marks in
There
the
it is.
grass, as though some heavy wire object had been set there. Gabriel carefully uses the tweezers to take the small iridescent scale.
I think it's a snake scale, but it beats the hell out of me what kind.
Gabriel,
Hello?
please, be seated.
Dr. John tells me you're a...
Yes, I...
Could I ask,
Of...
do you know anything about snakes?
Snakes? You mean like my beloved Grimwald? She's a python, you know. Quite deadly in the wrong hands. I was trained by one of the great voodoo queens to learn how to hypnotize and handle snakes.
Tell me more about snakes.
Oh, I wouldn't want to give a...
About Grimwald.
What about her?
Where'd you get Grimwald?
She belonged to a traveling reptile show. She was being terribly mistreated, so I offered to buy her. She's named after a spirit guide I had once. The spirit Grimwald was a very powerful female snake priestess in Egyptian times.
Grimwald doesn't sound Egyptian.
I only know what the spirits tell me. Monsieur, I am sure they know better than we.
How'd you learn to handle Grimwald?
I told you a great voodoo queen taught me. She learned from Marie Laveau herself.
Ah, fascinating. Would you consider giving me one of Grimwald's scales?
No, I couldn't do that. You might do some gree-gree of your own, no? One must be very careful with such things. Hair clippings, nail parings, and snake scale.
Are you sure you wouldn't consider giving me one of Grimwald's scales?
I told you I couldn't do that.
Are you sure? How about showing me how you handle Grimwald?
Really? You would like to see me dance, perhaps?
That would be swell.
I won't make you wait, Monsieur Knight. No matter what you see, do not be frightened.
I'll give it my best shot.
Gabriel grabs the shed snake skin while Magenta is otherwise occupied.
They are truly inspiring, isn't it?
That's certainly one word for it. Could I
Sir, what about...
tell?
You have to be careful when handling a snake. They're more delicate than they look.
I'll bet. Not.
Oh,
That handles that.
Well, I guess.
open your mind and heart, and the way will be clear to you.
Hello, Dr. John.
Glad you could return to us.
Gabriel magnifies the shed skin from Magenta, Moonbeam's snake. The snake scales are hued brown. They don't match the scale from Lake Pontchartrain.
The python is quite dangerous. I would stay back if I were you.
Thanks for the advice.
A very large, very...
Could I ask,
Of course.
do you know anything about snakes?
Ah, you have perhaps noticed the museum's snake, Mr. Knight. They are beautiful creatures, do you not agree? And the tourists seem to associate them with voodoo.
Is the snake yours? Do you use it in your practice of voodoo?
I admire the spirit of this snake, Mr. Knight. But snakes like the museums can be quite dangerous to handle.
You didn't really answer my question.
I think I did, Mr. Knight.
I'd really like to know more about your snake.
There is really...
Something about the ship. Gabriel does...
Thanks a lot. Can I... Do you know anything?
What kind of snakes?
The kind they use in voodoo?
Pythons and boas. So I've heard.
Really? Do you have one?
Are you crazy? What would I want with a python?
Do you know anything?
I've already...
Are you still...
Or you show me $100.
I have $100. You still want to sell that crocodile mask?
That's $100, sure enough. The mask, it's yours, sir. Here you go. Careful it don't bite you now.
Yeah, thanks.
Don't you go forgetting your lagniappe. A free bottle of Master Gambling Oil.
The sign said I could get Lady Luck oil instead.
Well, I wasn't thinking a man as young as you would be needing that kind of remedying. But if you having problems with your...
Oh, that's all right. Believe me, I don't need it. I'll just stick with this. Thanks, anyway.
Of course, it ain't none of my business if you do need it.
I don't need it.
Of course you don't.
Do you...
I got some snake root and snake powder, but I order 'em wholesale.
Anything at the Napoleon House yet?
The small box.
Got a second, Sam? It's about your game.
I don't have a game. That's my problem. Don't you touch those chess pieces while I'm gone, you bastard.
I ain't never needed a cheat yet, you loser.
Thought you might be interested in this gambling oil.
Let me see that. Master Gambling Oil. What's it for?
Don't you ever wonder why Marcus wins every time?
Get out of here. Marcus would never use something like this.
Well, if that's what you want to believe. This is a powerful voodoo oil.
Ah, go on. Really?
This voodoo oil could make a nun get lucky.
Really? You think it really works, huh?
I'd stake my reputation as a novelist on it.
You say Marcus uses this. That explains a lot. Let me see that bottle. Oh, this looks authentic.
Oh, it is.
If I could really beat that bastard. Stonewall, give me a Pim's cup, would you?
Coming up, Sam.
How much you think I'd have put in here?
Careful. You don't want to overdo it. Too much luck can be dangerous.
What? There's no such thing as too much. Now stand back.
Come on already. I'm ready to checkmate.
We'll see about that, Mr. Smutty Big Mouth. Checkmate! Checkmate, you bastard!
Son of a bitch.
Gave him back his confidence.
20 years I've been waiting to say that. Checkmate, checkmate, checkmate!
You are the biggest butthead Sam Singleton that I ever met.
Checkmate!
You can just put this chessboard where the sun don't shine.
Hallelujah, I did it! Yippee!
Nice game.
Nice game. Hell, I was brilliant! Of course, I gotta give some of the credit to that oil of yours. You've been losing to that guy for 20 years. If you ever need a favor, you come to Sam, you hear?
Will do. Can I ask you some questions now?
Luke, I'd be glad to help you out, but I've been stuck in this bar too long. I don't know much about anything.
Somewhere there's a New Orleans phone book missing one of its C pages.
Where did I get this? I don't remember picking that up. Did I pull it out of a newspaper? Huh.
Does this...
No.
Does this mean anything to you?
Not.
This is the first. This is the first.
I need to go back there to get it. Okay.
Does
Now,
does
There's nothing for me to talk to you about yet.
how's it going?
what? Oh, man, I have been jumpy all day. That pattern of yours really freaked me out for some reason. There's just something creepy.
You finished it?
Yeah, and you're welcome to it. Here.
Wow, this is great.
Uh-huh. Just don't, like, blow up the planet with it or something, okay?
I didn't mean to upset you.
Oh, forget it. I'm probably just being stupid. Do your thing with it, and good luck.
The reconstructed veil.
Okay. Back at the cemetery. Is anything
Hello
new?
there.
Yeah?
Mind if I pick your...
Good.
Do you know any...
Snakes? I see snakes around here all the time. Most of them ain't poisonous, of course.
Do you know...
I don't mind.
It's Getty.
Malia.
Mr. Knight, what are you doing here?
My family's tomb is here.
Mine too.
I noticed. Subtle.
Well, Mr. Knight, if there's nothing else.
Don't go. I need to talk to you.
Whatever for.
I can't stop thinking about you. I've been in your thoughts, too. I can see it in your eyes.
Mr. Knight, you don't know anything about me. I'm not in a position to get involved.
I've said that a million times myself, but this is different. I think we both know we can't fight it. Oh, I can't believe I'm saying this.
I have so many obligations. My family is very traditional. You wouldn't understand.
Hey, I love tradition. I've seen Fiddler on the Roof 100 times.
This isn't a musical, Mr. Knight. We live in different worlds.
Look, I know you've got more money than God. Do you think I care? Do you think that's why I'm saying this?
No, I don't.
Why don't you come see my world? I have a little bookshop, St. George's on Bourbon.
I know.
See? I knew it. You're crazy about me, too. Come by tonight. Please. My world isn't so bad.
I'm sorry, but there's no place for someone like you in my life. Not now, not ever.
Damn it.
Okay, that was pointless.
The plate is locked.
Hey, Severino. It's definitely a classic.
It looks like the lecture is just starting. Gabriel decides to record the session.
Voodoo is the tribal religion of Africa, but the name Voodoo is actually a banner heading under which resides an entire body of distinct tribal belief systems. The word voodoo may sound familiar to you. What is known in the States as voodoo is actually an amalgamation of African religious systems, voodoo, and European religions, primarily Catholicism. All of the subcults of African voodoo have certain things in common. The most important is the worship of a pantheon of spirits instead of the single deity that the Christian and Muslim systems had. Some of these spirits are elementals. Some relate to specific tasks or places. Some represent important tribal leaders who have died. This spirit worship is what makes voodoo so easily adaptable. With all those spirits, it's no problem to add a few more. Say, for example, the Virgin Mary. At the height of tribal Africa, warfare was common. One tribe would conquer another, and the Loa, important in the conqueror's tribal system, would be adopted readily into the conquered tribe's Loa pantheon. In this way, many of the voodoo cults spread and mingled throughout tribal Africa, enriching the belief system and causing innumerable offshoots. The basis for the voodoo religion seems to be as old as man himself. It has much in common with many early pagan practices: animal totems, sympathetic magic, elemental spirits in the trees, the heavens, the bodies of the sick. Africa is believed by many to be the cradle of the human race. Some of the voodoo Loa may be as old as the Garden of Eden itself. We still can't explain some of the real power of these primal religions. And note, I said primal, not primitive. There are African Bokors who baffle our scientists with their supernatural powers. Now, let's discuss the elements of voodoo.
Fascinating guy.
In voodoo, the spirits are called the Loa. During a voodoo ceremony, celebrants are possessed by the Loa. And this is called being ridden. The human worshiper is seen as a horse, and the Loa as the divine horseman. A person being ridden by a Loa takes on the characteristics of that spirit and becomes, in effect, merely a vessel for the more powerful entity. Some of the older original Africa Loa include Dambala, the great serpent god; Ezruli, the mistress of love; Papa Nebo, or Gede, the lord of death; Agwe, the spirit of water; Legba, spirit of the crossroads; and the cruelest and most dangerous, Ogun Badagri, the lord of destruction.
I gotta get more sleep at night.
Tribe-specific Loa can have as much or more power as the more widely worshipped Loa. For instance, a particular tribe might revere highly the Loa of an ancestor who was a legendary hunter or politician. Voodoo temples are called Houndfors. Their priests, Hungan or Bokors. Their priestesses, Mama Loa. In a voodoo Houndfor, there's a ritual circle marked by a center pole called a poto mitan. The ritual circle is prepared with a veve, a pattern of symbols. Each tribe's veve is slightly different, consisting of complex symbols that identify their special Loa. During ritual conclaves, initiates dance under the supervision of a Bokor and a Mama Loa, or head priestess. The use of totems or animal masks and markings was not uncommon in the original African ceremonies. Now, though, all but the oldest sects have abandoned this practice. Ritual objects used during the conclaves include the ritual gourd or asson, the ritual knife or kubasa.
That knife gives me the chills.
The ritual whip or fouet cache. and the ritual coffin, or seke madule. These items are often optional, called for by the Mamaloa for specific magical rituals. The Mamaloa is the most powerful figure in any voodoo sect. Voodoo is a truly matriarchal system. Even the Bokor knows his power is limited. The Mamaloa is the supreme woman. She, butterflies, fireflies.
Firelight. No,
He
Gabriel?
fell asleep.
What? I can't see.
Gabriel, get in.
Can't. It's too small for me.
You must get in, Gabriel.
It's not mine. Too small.
Hide, Gabriel, hide.
No, no, let me out. Help.
Young man, the lecture is over.
Oh my God, sorry.
Voodoo is the tribal religion of Africa. The ritual knife, or kubasa.
And didn't even record it there. Fine.
Gabriel scans the bulletin board. Greek night at the Alpha Psi Omega frat house. It looks like it took place sometime last spring. Gabriel, there's a notice for a lecture on investigative reporting techniques to be given by octogenarian Pulitzer Prize winner Laura Bo Dorian. Unfortunately, it's weeks away. By that time, Gabriel will have to have learned on his own. Gabriel, need a ride to L.A. the last weekend.
I wouldn't go there.
Gabriel, work out of your home and make up to $2,000 a week in your spare time. Call 555-6789.
I actually called them once. You sell cat food over the phone.
Gabriel scan. Ha! We'll do algebra or biology homework for food. Jazz jam session every Tuesday at 7 in the music building. Haircuts for $10 a head. Perms for $20 at the Tulane Beauty School West Campus.
Like I'd let an amateur touch these locks.
Greek night at the... Those doors lead to... Gabriel does not... The podium. Gabriel...
Are you a student?
Okay.
No. My name is Knight. Gabriel Knight.
Well, you have walked into my private office, Mr. Knight. I hope you have something worthwhile to do here. If you figure it out, let me know.
Is there anything you can tell me about the voodoo aspects of this photograph?
This is serious voodoo ritual. Nasty stuff.
In what way?
Let's see. I can't make out much detail from this photograph. Except for the corpse, of course. But the wound, the face, and what little I can see of the ritual paraphernalia. Reminds me of certain black voodoo practices. Very rare. I've never witnessed them myself, you understand?
Really? Interesting. Thanks. Your lecture was terrific.
Oh, you think so? You were snoring so loud I didn't think you'd heard it.
An old globe sits atop Hartridge's file cabinet. The door leads back. Dr. Hartridge's office is crowded with masks, carved figures, and strange objects. The carved stone head looks African and very old. That mask is quite hideous. The squatter grins maliciously at Gabriel. It's an enormous stone head. Exotic fish lend even more color to the cluttered office. The shelves behind Hartridge's desk are full of old books. Dr. Hartridge's desk is remarkably neat, especially considering the rest of the room.
Did you know there's a whole branch of archaeology devoted to garbage? Maybe you should look into it.
The shelves behind Dr.
Okay.
Mind if I pick your brain?
Not if it will get you out of my office.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
You already sat through my lecture on the subject, Mr. Knight. Perhaps next time you could stay awake and learn something.
What can you tell?
You already sat.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
I've read about them in the papers. I must admit to some interest. But according to the newspapers, the voodoo aspect is faked, so I haven't really pursued it. You know how Americans, especially Hollywood, treats voodoo. I'm sure there are many so-called practitioners out there that have no idea what they're doing or the power they're playing with.
What do you know about the...
As I said, I don't know anything but what the papers say. According to them...
What can you tell...
I find it interesting to see the occasional fragment of voodoo practices in the everyday culture of New Orleans.
What else?
The Catholic Church has always dominated in New Orleans, and its imagery, in turn, has dominated New Orleans voodoo.
What else?
If there's more you wish to know...
Do you know anything about snakes?
I'm not a zoologist, Mr. Knight, but I know all I care to about reptiles.
What can you tell me?
It's June 23rd, the feast day of St. John the Baptist. But June 23rd has been a sacred day since the earliest times. Ancient sun worshippers used to roll a flaming wheel down a hill to celebrate the sun's descent on that day.
A burning wheel? Huh. What can you tell me about St. John's?
Burning well in his dreams.
I'm not in the habit of repeating myself, Mr. Knight.
Do you have any idea what Cabri-Sans-Corps means?
Cabri-Sans-Corps? Yes, I do. It's a Haitian term, I believe. It's French, and literally translates as goat without horns.
As in a female goat?
No, as in a human sacrifice. Sacrifices in voodoo are usually of the animal variety. Chickens, bulls, goats. If the gods demand a goat without horns, it means a human being.
What was that translation?
I'm not in the habit.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
While I find the colloquial bastardizations of voodoo somewhat interesting from a sheerly intellectual point of view, there's not a lot of relation between people like Laveau and true voodoo practices.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
As I said in my lecture, which I assume you actually listened to, is that animal masks, totems, are used extensively in most African voodoo religions.
Tell me about bebés.
If you'd taken notes during my lecture, you wouldn't have to ask.
Tell me what you mean by black voodoo.
Well, like any religion, the beliefs can tend toward positive or negative ends. Can be used for good or evil. Christianity, for example, has its doppelganger, Satanism. Anytime you attempt to set up an icon to explain evil, you invite some warped mind to worship it. The same is true of voodoo. There are those who are drawn by and desire personal power from the darker, bloodier, Loa.
Tell me about you.
All right, Mr. Knight, I'm 35, a fully tenured professor at this university as well as a fellow at Cambridge. My doctorate was obtained at Syracuse. Yes, Syracuse, in religious studies. I'm an agnostic, but I find human belief systems fascinating. I specialize in African religions because I grew up there. My father was a Protestant missionary. And I am heterosexual, when I practice sex at all, which isn't very often. Any other questions?
No.
Fine.
Tell me more about human sacrifice.
It's, very rare. Most voodoo practices do not include human sacrifice as a matter of record, but it is theoretically possible if that's the gods demand. For example, one of the chants I had translated for me from a Haitian ritual went like this. Mistress Azuli, come and aid us. If a cock is demanded, we will give it. If a bull will suffice, behold it. But if a goat without horns is required for sacrifice, oh, where will we find one? Azuli is the gentlest of Loa, so they call on her for mercy. But I have seen grown and powerful Hungan tremble before a possession by one of the more violent Loa, such as Papa Needle. Clearly, they are afraid that something of the sort will be ordered, or that the Loa will simply take it for themselves.
I'll show you every single thing in my pockets.
Can you tell me...
No.
Can you...
No.
Can you...
No.
Can you tell me anything about this?
No, I've never seen those symbols. Therefore, they're probably meaningless.
Really? Are you sure?
I am never wrong, Mr. Knight. Therefore, sure is not in my vocabulary.
Can you tell me...
Wow. Interesting. Very interesting. Mind if I copy this?
Be my guest.
Great. I'll be right back. Here you go. You know, this is a fascinating baby. You must tell me all about its origin.
Actually, I was hoping you'd tell me. Can you figure out anything about it from the symbols?
Well, some. That's why I wanted a copy. I want to research the design myself. Each of the symbols in the Veve represents something, a Loa, a place. Where did you get this?
Have you heard of the voodoo murders?
No, you're kidding. Really? Then the voodoo is authentic. The newspapers are wrong. Boy, are they wrong.
You think this Veve is authentic, then?
Authentic? Mr. Knight, that's like asking if the Mona Lisa is a painting. Tell you what, I'll look into these symbols myself and see what I can learn about the sect that made this. I'll give you a call when I have more information. You are associated with the police, aren't you?
Absolutely. But I'm, undercover. You can contact me at the St. George's bookshop in the quarter.
All right. Now, I'd like to get started on this if you don't mind.
That's everything.
Okay, goodbye.
For now. More things I can talk to people about.
Hello, Dr. John.
Glad you could return to us.
Does this pattern look familiar to you?
Where did you get that?
You do recognize it, then?
I have never seen it before in my life.
Could I ask you...
Of course. I also find our dialogue...
Do you know anything about Veves?
I believe they have something to do with Haitian voodoo, but that is not really my area.
You're sure? Do you know anything about black voodoo?
That sort of viewpoint makes my work very difficult, Mr. Knight.
I'm not implying that all voodoo is evil, but there are certain practitioners that use voodoo towards a darker end, aren't there?
No one that I am familiar with. If there are one or two ignorant believers, that is none of my concern. And I do not care to promote a Hollywood interpretation of voodoo by discussing it.
A street drummer has...
I'll be going. Hi. Do you recognize...
Don't look for me.
Can I add... I found out what Cabri sans corps means. How did you know about human sacrifice?
I never said those words, monsieur. You must have heard them from someone else.
Huh.
Do you know anything about Veves?
No, sir.
Do you know anything about...
Black voodoo? Oh, no such thing, I tell you for sure.
No, no one for help from you.
Gabriel Knight?
Hello.
Please, be seated.
Does this mean anything to you?
These are magic.
Really? Then
Seeker?
Uh-huh.
Nothing new.
Could I...
Of
Do you know anything about Veves?
I don't know anything.
Do you know...
It is the oldest, darkest heart of voodoo.
That was unhelpful.
Well, I...
Peace and...
Right. Hey,
I wish you wouldn't wear that coat outside in June. I could smell you from here.
At Giant Discount Bookstore.
Grace keeps her art.
Okay. What's that package?
It's frightening. It's terrible.
Hello? Robert?
No, it's not Robert.
Then get off the phone.
They said they called that number earlier.
The Creole Grand Dames will hold their annual Gardenia Festival, and these is coming Tuesday at the Sons of Burgundy Hall. Admission is...
Gabriel Minders.
Do you have message?
Nope.
Could you do?
Sure. What?
I have a pattern I need you to research.
How interesting. What is it?
It's a reconstruction of the tracings they found around the murder victims. The ones done in flour and blood.
Ugh. You shouldn't carry this kind of thing around. Who knows what these symbols mean?
Well, wear your evil banishing gloves if you want. But check it out for me, would you?
I'll see what I can find out. Anything else?
I can't think of anything.
Oh.
Are you sure you don't? Do you know anything about Veve? Do you know anything?
Black voodoo?
Nothing you need to know about. Do you?
I know there are dark forms of any major religion. Where there's a yin, there's a yang.
Speaking of yin and yang.
But no, I don't know anything really about voodoo, dark or otherwise. Sorry.
I'm going in.
I'm sure what to do next.
Gabriel, this door. There's no Gabriel.
Knocker. Not the door, the knocker.
Oh, it's you. Can you tell me where she is? It's very important. She's visiting her mother's grave, Mr. Knight. Something even you can't be tasteless enough to want to interrupt.
I already saw her at the grave. Stone loops. Gonna emerge.
The band is the band. The drummer. Those two.
If I should call the travel agency for whatever reason. I do need to,
Come on, boys. Hoopla.
Gabriel doesn't. The booth, the owner is current.
I'm looking,
Gabriel leers at the dancer, but why do that? Why do? Why do? Why do? She's busy at. Why do?
Thanks, boy.
Could I ask you?
The owner.
Does this mean?
No.
Madame Lorelei, the fortune teller, is garbed in a bed.
Does this mean it?
No.
Does this mean? Does this?
No.
Does this?
No. Come on.
Why do that?
Thanks, boys. Come on, boys. Hoopla.
Not a bad idea. Ooh, baby, I love the way you move.
Madame Lorelei winks knowingly at Gabriel and twitches her hip.
Yep, she wants me.
Thanks, boy.
Gabriel doesn't want to take that. Gabriel examines the veil with a magnifying glass. That sequin looks a little strange. Why, it's a snake scale. Gabriel carefully used. Gabriel magnifies the scale from the fortune teller. The iridescent scale is hued olive green. It does.
It's not the right snake.
I think this veil belongs to you.
Huh, my veil. I'm always losing those things. You have no idea. Well, darling, you're such a sweetie to return a lady's delicates, and so handsome as well.
Well,
And since you have such a clear interest in fortune-telling, let me see your hands. They look so strong. Perhaps they will make both our fortunes clear, no?
I wish something would.
Strong. Yes, and yet so delicate and flexible.
You don't know the half of it.
Oh, good. I see a mysterious woman in your immediate future.
Madame Lorelei winks at Gabriel knowingly.
She is a dangerous one, dark and beautiful. Ah, I see the road of your life forking. And very soon.
The blood drains from Madame Lorelei's face in an instant. Sweat beads on her upper lip.
Are you okay?
No.
Oh, God. Beware! Beware!
What is it about me lately? Hello.
I wish you wouldn't...
You're listening to KLE.
Five, 8, 5, 11, 30.
Hello. See the World Travel Agency. How may I help you?
What are your specials?
2 weeks in India for 2,000 rupees.
Well, that's certainly special.
Uh-huh. Is there something else I can help you with?
How much for a trip to the Caribbean?
Well, our least expensive trip is 4 days, 3 nights in St. Croix for $1,250. Of course, we have much nicer packages available.
I'm sure your packages are astonishing, but that's out of my league.
Is there something else I can help you with?
I've always wanted to visit Anderson, Indiana.
I'm so sorry, but you can't get there from here.
Can you just get me out of here, please?
I'd be happy to send you anywhere, sir, but I need a destination.
Sorry.
Thank you.
It's frightening. It's...
Guess I can call the woman. I think that's Kaz. No, I think that was who was in the shop.
You're listening to KLE.
1280.
Hello?
Hello? I'm calling from the Dixieland drugstore. We have an order for you.
Castro, be quiet. Who is this?
I'm a friend of the owner.
I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about.
gendarmes will hold...
You turn off. I'm tired of listening to you. Oh, 37 maybe?
Lanny's Pizza. May I take...
5, 12, 37. Five, 3, 5, 12, 37.
There's nothing.
Casino residence, may I help you?
Hi, you wanna...
No solicitor.
Of 20.
There's nothing there to...
Hello, Casino residence?
Hi, I was wondering if you could help me.
Yeah?
A woman in the Dixieland drugstore dropped her purse today, and the name Kazanu was inside it.
Dixieland drugstore?
$70.
Hello.
Hi,
Yes. What can I do for you?
do you or does anyone in your family patronize the Dixieland drugstore?
I'm a bit...
Nothing?
That was that first one that I did. One that sounded like her. 1280.
Yes?
Hi, I called earlier about your drugstore order.
Hush, Castro! I told you, I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
Somewhere...
555-6170.
Cajun Critters Animal Clinic. This is Melissa.
Do you have a Madame Kazanu as a client?
Madame Kazanu? Sure, I know her. She's not here right now, though.
Really? She told me she'd be there. Would you happen to have her address by any chance?
Yes, but I'm not sure I should give it out. Who are you again?
I'm worried about Castro. He's missed 3 dance lessons.
Castro? Her little doggy? Oh, he's so sweet. Well, I guess if you know Castro, it's okay. Her address is 345 Dauphine.
Thanks.
I have a new place to go. Be fun. Let's go.
I've got some things.
Good luck.
Poppy. Poppy, 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 poppy.
Yes? Who is it?
Hi, I'm doing an article on voodoo, and I heard that you...
I am a good Catholic, young man. Take your evil influence elsewhere.
But I just have a few questions.
I can feel the evil eye. Go away. Yes?
I have some fine magazine subscriptions for sale. I've got some great pet supplies. Coochie coo little doggy.
Castro has everything.
Land shark.
You have no...
Please let me talk to you, Madame Cazanou.
I don't talk to strangers.
The things I do.
I told you no.
Please.
I don't...
All windows. The door frame. The door. It's an off. The front door is solid. It would be... Using... Gabriel doesn't see a way. Using that on the front door won't help.
I'm not going back on this. Hey.
Oh.
I'm not calling some stranger in Germany. I still don't know who this guy really is.
Gabriel does. Gabriel does. Gabriel does.
I don't.
Gabriel does. The top shelf. Gabriel selects a volume of German poetry. that he always found strangely compelling.
Drei Drachen. Drei Drachen kriechen in meinen Schlaf. Die Ziele wollen sie lebendig zum Fraß. Feurigen Atems, gespaltener Zunge, genießen sie jedes Mal.
That's nice. Kinda creepy, though. Who's the author?
Heinz Ritter. I'm not sure what it says, but I get the feeling the guy was one sick puppy.
Now that I know a Ritter name.
I'm going out.
See ya.
Now,
Me.
can we... Do you know anyone named Wolfgang Ritter?
Wolfgang Ritter? Oh, no, dear.
Do you know any...
Gabriel.
I'm...
In...
The hands do nothing happens.
Ritter.
Nothing happens. A ring of 6 symbols surround the face of the clock. A sword, a sun, an angel, a noose, an eclipse, and a dragon.
Drei Drachen. Drei Drachen. That works.
Nothing happens.
Oh, that moves.
Granddaddy, you old fox.
Gabriel doesn't... A secret drawer has... The letter is written in German, but Gabriel determines what he can about it. It was sent from a place called Schloss Ritter in Rittersberg, West Germany. The letter is addressed to mein Sohn Heinz and signed Wilhelm Ritter. One of the recurring words strewn throughout the letter is the word Schattenjäger. The only thing that Gabriel can decipher about the letter is a sense of urgency in the handwriting and in the heavy use of quill-tip bold strokes and underlining. The old photographs show Gabriel's grandfather with two other men that Gabriel has not identified. A secret drawer.
That's it.
Does this... Does this...
That one in the middle is your grandfather.
Okay, so you know nothing. Gotcha.
Well...
Oh.
Lucy,
I wish you wouldn't...
I'm not calling some stranger in Germany. I still don't know who this guy really is. I'm going in.
My precious boy.
I don't know him personally,
How
though.
wonderful of you
I
to
know
stop
of
by.
him. Yes, his voice
Can't
is
stay
done by
away from you, Gran.
Tim Curry.
Make
Can we talk?
Of course.
Do you know anyone named Heinz Ritter?
Heinz Ritter. Oh, Gabriel. Where did you hear that name?
I found a letter in Granddaddy's clock.
I promised I'd never tell you or your father. But I suppose it doesn't matter now.
Tell me, Gran.
Your granddad's name was Heinz Ritter before he came to America. He
Yes, he
changed
is.
it to Harrison Knight legally when he arrived.
Do you know...
As I said, your granddad's surname was originally Ritter. I never learned much about his family, but from things he said, I always thought he had a brother back in Germany. I don't know if Wolfgang Ritter is related to your granddad or not.
Have you ever heard of a Schottenjäger?
Schottenjäger? Schottenjäger. How odd, Gabriel. I haven't heard that word in years. My goodness, you've given me a chill. Your granddad used to say that sometimes in his sleep.
Really? Do you know what it means?
No, I'm afraid not. I asked him about it once. I don't think he answered me. Odd.
Thanks, Gran.
Does that give me
Well,
enough
Grant-
to call him now?
Lucy.
Oh.
Does
Guten Tag, Sie haben Schloss Ritter erreicht?
I'm looking for Wolfgang Ritter.
Ja, einen Moment.
Yeah, is this Gabriel on the phone?
This is Gabriel Knight. Why are you calling me, Mr. Ritter?
I have been having premonitions of great danger for you, Gabriel. You must leave New Orleans this very day.
What the hell are you talking about?
It is hard to explain on the phone. I have had senses, feelings about you. It took me a long time to have you tracked down. I had a sense that Heinz had a grandson, but until these dreams started, I did not know if I should contact you.
You say you're related to my grandfather?
Yes, Heinz was my brother. There is much about the family that you should know, Gabriel. Come to Schloss Ritter in Rittersberg, West Germany. It is our family home. I will tell you everything when you come. You must come immediately. You are in great danger there.
Look, I appreciate the family spirit and all, but frankly I don't know you from Adam, and I'm not going to fly off to Germany even if I could afford it.
Gabriel, please. If you won't listen, at least let me send you something. It is a journal from one of your ancestors. Promise me you will read it.
Well, I'm pretty busy.
Please, Gabriel, you are the last of our line. I am too old to carry on. You are our last hope. Please, for your family, read the journal.
All right, I'll look at it.
Good. Now be careful and come to me as soon as you can. Goodbye.
Got him. Have you ever heard of a Schottenjäger?
No. Is that a voodoo word?
I don't think so. It's German.
No, but it has a nice ring, doesn't it? Schottenjäger.
Could you do...
Sure. Okay.
I'll be back later.
Good luck.
Changed it all.
the voodoo?
Nothing new. Let me put the hair gel on. I thought there was more. Well, let me put the shirt on.
There's a box of...
Well, you never...
There's no reason... This is the last...
The things I'd...
Yes? Who is it?
It's Father McLaughlin to see you.
Father McLaughlin, you say? You must be new in the parish. I'm so pleased to meet you, Father. Do come in.
Thank you, my child.
Please be seated, Father.
Thank you.
Now, what can I do for you?
It's so nice of you to invite me in.
Ah, but no, mon père. I am always happy to see one of the good fathers.
Do you find the weather to your liking?
It's terribly humid. I only go out in the morning and evening.
There's an old-fashioned jewelry box on the coffee table. The tea service has been polished recently. Madame uses it with her Creole sisters, perhaps? Madame's antiques are probably worth something. Madame seems to like candles. Gabriel wonders if these two are specialties of Mr. Walker's shop. The painting behind the couch is a Madonna in child. The sofa is velvet, and it is wearing nearly as much of Madame Cazeneu's face powder as Madame is herself. Madame's parlor is full of carefully dusted and polished relics of her past. The plant looks healthy, despite Gabriel's vague impression that Castro makes great use of it. The folding screen has a colorful pattern. It looks oriental.
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions, my child?
Of course not, mon père.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
People think I'm just a foolish old woman, but I know the things they do. My family's been in New Orleans since 1750, so I know more than most. Voodoo people are all over this city, in the shops, everywhere. They'll curse you like that, and most people don't even notice. Spit on your bread at the bakery. Take strands of your hair at the store when you try on the clothes. You have to be so careful. But I know their ways, so I can protect myself. I know how to use the magic too, and I can counteract their evil spells.
Tell me.
It's just plain evil. It's dangerous to even discuss it.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Voodoo murders? Ha! They are nothing new to me, Father. They happen all the time. I hardly go out anymore. It's too dangerous in the streets. They can get you anywhere, you know. Even here in this room. But I try not to let them know about me. That's the best way.
What do you know?
Shh.
What can you
The only true New Orleanians are of French origin, you know. My family were among the original settlers of New Orleans. They came here from France. The Creole society used to be so gay in New Orleans. Now it barely hangs on by its fingernails.
What can you
You know, I can stroll the streets of the French Quarter and see in my mind's eye the way it used to be. It was wonderful in the old days.
What can you...
New Orleans isn't what it used to be, I can tell you. There's too few of the real people left.
What can you...
New Orleans isn't...
Do you know any...
Snakes! They're evil creatures. Did you know that evil people can send them into your dreams? They can. That's why I never sleep.
Right, thanks. Do you know anything?
It would be bad luck to...
What can you...
St. John's Eve? Mais oui! I used to love the St. John's Eve Mass at Sandwick Cathedral. Of course, it is also a night of great wickedness, worse than All Hallows Eve. They will corrupt anything, Father.
They? They who?
Oh, You know.
What
I don't think
do you have any idea what Cabri Sankor means?
Mais oui, I know. I bet you do not, Father, n'est-ce pas?
It means goat without horns.
Oh, Father, you surprise me. You do know what it means. You know what they mean by goat without horns, don't you? A human being. That's right. Slit your throat, cut out your heart. Pure evil murder.
That cap...
Do not
Tell me more about...
She was only a front for the real evildoers, Father. And that's the truth about Marie Laveau.
Tell me more...
She was...
Do you know anything about animal masks?
No, Father. I don't know anything about that.
Do you know anything about veves?
No, Father.
Do you know anything...
Oh, yes, Father. It is the wickedest kind. The kind they practice here in New Orleans.
Tell me...
I already told...
Have you ever heard of a Schattenjäger?
No, Father.
Do you know anything about human sacrifice here in New Orleans?
Well, my great-grandmother could tell stories. She saw it. People say that sort of thing wasn't done in New Orleans. But the real voodoo queens did it. Oh, yes.
Can you tell me...
What is there?
Can you
What is there to tell?
Tell me about...
Me? I am Creole. My family has been in New Orleans for over 200 years. Real New Orleanians are French, you see. These days the city is overrun with people with no heritage at all. No offense, Father, but it's true. But the French, naturellement, will always be the true blood of New Orleans.
Tell me.
Well, Father, I don't know.
Who were the real voodoo queens?
My great-grandmother told me that Laveau was just a front, a flamboyant decoy. She distracted authorities from the real voodoo queen of New Orleans. It's been the same one for almost 200 years. She's head of a secret voodoo enfant. That's what they call their temples, you know. It's so secret, most of the voodoo people in the city don't even know about it. The real voodoo queen controlled Laveau, gave her a little bit of power, and used her like a puppet.
Is there...
Well, my great-grandmother said that the real voodoo queen was the most beautiful woman on earth. She had the most incredible copper-colored skin. Well, they are all brides of Satan. Other than that, I can't think of anything.
There's a new one.
Do you mind if I ask you a few...
If you...
Tell me more about this secret voodoo hound four.
Well, I've never seen it. I wouldn't go near it if you paid me. But it's here in Orleans, I guarantee it. I hear the drums at night, oh yes. That's why I am so ill. I tell you, those drums. But we shouldn't talk about it. They'll hear us. It's the devil's work that happens there. I can tell you. I'll show you something. Something secret. You mustn't tell anyone, Father.
I swear on my collar.
Here it is, mon père. A true object of evil if there ever was one.
It radiates something, all right.
It belonged to my great-grandmother. She told my mother that it was a token to gain entrance to the real voodoo ceremonies.
You don't say.
Like your mother was,
Tell you
grandmother
the
was part of
truth,
it.
I always felt nervous about having it in the house. You know, evil influence and all.
Oh, I can see how you would, yes.
And yet, I could never part with it. It's been in the family for generations. Would you bless it for me, Father? I feel strange asking such a thing of you, but surely you understand.
Bless this bracelet of a snake, even though its vibes aren't great. Let it do nobody harm when they wear it on their arm. Voodoo spirits, go away. Don't come back another day. And now, let us pray.
It's a bracelet in the shape of a snake.
Oh.
No, you were too fast.
Do you
If
Can I see that snake bracelet?
Alright. Here's...
Bless this bracelet of a snake, even though it's let it voodoo. And now.
There's no point. There's...
I think I need to make a mold of it. Have anything quite yet.
There's no...
I think that's enough, Father.
Oh, right. Here you go.
Gabriel can...
I need to go find some clay.
I'm not...
The banks of Lake...
All right. The thing... It's...
Please.
Thank you.
Now.
Do you...
Here's the bracelet, Father.
Bless this bracelet and...
Gabriel has a thought.
Bless, oh bless this circlet of silver. Take the curse, oh take it, Wilbur.
A lovely blessing, mon père.
Yes, I think it made a lasting impression. Here you go.
Okay.
Madam Carson, who is...
Does this mean...
No, Father.
Does this...
No.
This is the... Those two are...
I'm not...
Mr. Knight, you're back. Oh, goody.
Can you tell me?
No.
Good.
Could you do anything with this?
What is this? A clay mold? Well, I am a jeweler, you know. And I owe you one. Would you like me to cast this for you?
If you can.
You got it, pal. Actually, it'll be a pleasure to get my tools out. First time in years. I've been too busy playing that goddamn game. I'll have the bracelet tomorrow. Meet me here.
Great, thanks.
It's getting late.
There we go.
Gabriel decides to go home for the day.
Excuse me. I'm going inside.
Oh, excuse me, I'm afraid St. George's is closed for the day.
I'm not a customer. I'm here to see the owner.
Why don't you just leave your name and number with me, and I'll tell him you stopped by.
Listen, if Gabriel is here, he'll want to see me. Is he here?
Really couldn't say for certain, but in the morning.
Gracie, say goodnight. You came. I didn't think you would.
I didn't think I would either.
Your eyes. Oh, I could show you around a little. Yeah, it's not much, but...
Please, don't. I couldn't focus on much of anything right now.
Yeah, I know. God, what is it about you?
Just shut up and kiss me.